So continue with Bulugh al-Maram, it mentions عن أم عطية رضي الله عنها قالت كنا لا نعد الكدرة والصفرة بعد الطهر شيئا رواه البخاري وأبو داود واللفظ له. So he mentions in this hadith that Atiyah رضي عنها, she said, we didn't consider the brownish colored blood, muddy color, or the yellow color after purity as anything. I didn't consider it to be from our menses. So from this, there's a khilaf bin Ahl al-Ilm, where they mention if the majority scholars are under opinion, if is during the time of her cycle, her normal time, like her normal days that she would normally have, then it's from her menses. But if it's from outside of her normal cycle, then it's not from her menses. And that's what is understood from the hadith of Atiyah, when she said, Ba'da tuhri, yani after we have become pure from our cycle. If we saw a yellowish or muddy color kind of fluid, and he said, this is similar to what is seen if you was to wash meat, that kind of color, when you're washing meat, that you'll see that kind of muddy color of blood. Then this is what they are talking about. He said if it was after the days of the cycle, then and they've become pure, then they wouldn't consider it to be anything. However, it's going to say if it's during the cycle, during the days your normal cycle is, then you should consider it to be from one's menses. It also shows this hadith shows what the women were upon during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding these affairs. And also that the seeing this after one has become pure from their cycle, for hukmuha al-istihada, is considered to be istihada, which is the irregular bleeding. But as for before the time of purity, then it's considered to be menses. Now, and of the thing that's mentioned, as for the clearest signs of purity after the cycle, then it's the whitish kind of fluid that comes following the cycle. Otherwise, the fact that one has stopped bleeding. And also shows the importance of women seeking guidance to know that they have completed their cycle. The next hadith mentioned عن أنس رضي الله عنه أن اليهود كانت إذا حاضت المرأة فيهم لم يآكلوها فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اصنعوا كل شيء إلا النكاح. So here in this hadith, it mentions that the Jews, when the women went on their cycle, they wouldn't even eat with her. They don't share a table with her when she's eating. They consider her to be completely impure. They even designate a place of dwelling for her, so she no longer shares even the bed with her husband. I mean, this is enough for them to leave and become Muslim. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he say? Isna'u kulla shay'in illa nikah. Do everything except for marital intimacy. And it shows that sometimes we can use words that allude to the meaning as a means of having that modesty and not just speaking out raw. So it says illa nikah bima'na illa jima', except for intercourse. So the woman, you can eat with her, you can lie on her lap, all of these things, as did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. As I mentioned, Aisha anha in another hadith قالت كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يأمرني فأتزر فيباشرني وأنا حائض. That she mentioned in this hadith that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to tell me to, or used to order me to put on an izar, a lower garment, and then he would caress me. Now, this shows, while she was on her cycle, shows that it's permissible to be, caress your wife and the likes whilst she's on her cycle, without, as long as you stay away from actual intercourse. Unlike the ways of the Jews, where they would prohibit their family from sharing the same sitting area as them, the dinner table as them, and other things. But as for Islam, that's not the case. Rather, the women are still to share the same bed, eat with their family, and the likes. They're not to be considered to be totally impure in that sense. They're impure from the permissibility to pray and fast. But as for being one's presence, then there's no harm in that whatsoever. And it shows that the Jews, they went extreme regarding matters related to impurities. And also is evidence of the ease of Islam, that it facilitates and takes these matters into consideration where the woman is not considered to be totally impure. Also, of the things that one should know, of the evils of the magicians and stuff, from the acts of shaitan that they command people to do sometimes, is to sleep with a menstruating woman. And that is of the ways that they do sihr, wal-iyadhu billah min dhalik. We also have to protect us from this.
Assalamualaikum. There's a white van, Vauxhall van, that's blocking his sister wants to leave. So can you please remove your van, please? Thank you.
Also, it shows these hadith, they show the permissibility of saying something directly that one may be shy from when it's to clarify an Islamic ruling. The permissibility of speaking direct on matters that one would normally be shy from for the sake of an Islamic ruling. But even in saying that, one should still have some form of modesty in how they say it. Allah musta'an, some people have no shame at all. May Allah guide them. And it also shows that the woman's body and her clothing is pure. The only part of it that's not pure is where her cycle is. Now, the next hadith it mentions عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في الذي يأتي امرأته وهي حائض. This hadith speaks about the expiation of one who has intercourse with his wife while she's on her menses. قال يتصدق بدينار أو بنصف دينار. Now, this hadith, it says to give charity of a dinar or half of a dinar. One of the things that is mentioned, the hadith itself is mawquf. Goes back to the statement of Ibn Abbas and not to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So from this hadith we learn that one is haram to have intercourse with the one on the menses, but with the Quran, the Sunnah, and Ijma', consensus. Secondly, the obligation of an expiation for one who has done so. And this is for this expiation is obligatory for one who knows and intended. As for who was forgetful or ignorant, then there's no expiation upon that person. And the expiation of this is based upon the fact there's expiation for the one who has intercourse during the day of Ramadan and whilst in a state of ihram when performing Hajj or Umrah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
We'll stop there inshallah ta'ala today, and then we'll finish the book of Tahara next week, and inshallah start the following week the Kitab al-Salah, the book of Salah from Bulugh al-Maram. Barakallahu feekum. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.